What is up, DCS Crew? Man, it's been a while since I've done a knife party video. And I'm kind of glad that I waited because we got some doozies here today. I got a little bit of budget, a little bit of a bougie, and everything in between. Let's just say it like that. So we actually have 6 knives that we want to go ahead and talk a little bit about. As you can see that there are 5. Well, there's one that is in my pocket. And yeah, 2 of these have actually been brought to you in no small part by Tier 1 Gear Reviews. Go ahead and check him out on his YouTube channel. I mean, we got a little bit of everything. So without further ado, let me go ahead and just run the intro and we will get into it. So yeah, I don't know what else to say other than I'll see you in a few seconds. All right, guys, what's up? Welcome back. Now, so aside from the knives that I have on the table, there is one other knife that was sent over to me, and yeah, it's my buddy from Tier 1 Gear Reviews was kind enough to send over this guy right here. This is the Kershaw Knives Launch 11. It's been a while since I've actually held part of the launch series. One of the first knives I got was a Launch 3, you know, some time ago. And I purchased it from a firefighter. I was just, you know, I was looking at it. I wanted a nice USA made knife. And the guy's like, "Ah, you're interested in an auto?" I was like, "Really?" I didn't know how good their autos were. So he sent me his Launch 3. I ended up checking it out. I fell in love with it. But then, of course, I learned about, you know, companies like Benchmade's autos and then, you know, Protec's autos and that sort of thing. And I kind of made it feel obsolete, so I ended up getting rid of it. Now, fast forward to this. This is 8 models after the Launch 3. And guys, they've come a long way, I gotta tell you. This is the Kershaw Knives Launch 11 with black washed blade. It is an auto. It's got this really nice kind of like brownish, like a dark bronzed pivot collar. Other than that, it is all black hardware. It's got this really cool design here. I forget what that insignia is supposed to be, but you can see the Kershaw insignia right there on the clip, which is not deep carry. There we go. I think I showed it there. Okay. And it is tapped for left or right hand carry. So that's pretty cool. It does have a nice snap to it. Okay. And then what I was trying to do is I was trying to see if Protec, like Protec does, if there is a misfire that you can just kind of go ahead and you know, click the button and it just kind of goes in place. But the truth is the spring on this is actually so, you know, tight and wound up that I have, even if I try to like let it out slowly, it does not misfire. Okay. That's actually really cool. And that's a nice upgrade compared to the other Kershaw autos that I've seen. Now, is that going to stay like that forever? I really don't know. But for the time being and for the little I've been carrying this, guys, this is a really, really cool design. Like I said, USA made, CPM 154 steel. It's a powdered metallurgy version of 154 CM. 154 CM was a nice adequate steel. It was compared a lot to VG10. VG10 being one that was able to be sharpened up a lot more, have a nice sharper edge and corrosion resistance, but 154 CM had the wear resistance, so it would keep its edge longer. But the VG10 was one that was able to go ahead and stay a little bit more corrosion resistant as a result. Now, CPM 154 solved all those problems and it launched it into semi-super steel status. Now, the thing is, you know, with the advent of, you know, knife steels like M390, 20CV, CTS 204P, you know, the fact is CPM 154 has not really been in the spotlight much, but that's cool because Kershaw sought to be able to go ahead and take advantage of that, and they're using CPM 154 in their auto knives. In fact, I don't know if they have used CPM 154 in any of their other non-auto knives, like, you know, like the Kershaw, the bare knuckle. This one is 14C28N, and I know that they have 20CV variants because I have that one as well. But CPM 154, I really haven't seen much of this being used by Kershaw in anything other than their autos. So yeah, this is the Kershaw Knives Launch 11. That one was in my pocket, so that's the reason why it was not on the table. So going from right to left, let's go ahead and start with this one, of course, because it's from my boy, Mr. Dylan Mallory. Now, you'll notice that this particular knife, it looks strikingly similar to the ARCHAEO, and it looks very similar to the Centros. Okay, so well, I don't have my ARCHAEO out right now. Can you see what the difference is in this particular knife? Let me go ahead and see if I can give a little bit more detail there. Oh, you saw a hole there, okay. There's the Mallory Designs logo. Okay, well, let me go ahead and help you with this. All right, number one, doesn't seem to be a hole there, okay? And that's something that's pretty commonplace with the ARCHAEO. Number two, this is a non-locking version of the ARCHAEO. So what happens is this opens like normal, and might I add, the action on this is extremely great. I mean, really nice. Opens up with a nice thwack, and really nice Damascus blade here, designed by Dylan Mallory. It has the Mallory symbol, and what you do is it actually comes with a little lock right here, a little lock bar, I guess you could say. And what you do is once it's open, you insert it, and this little bastard will not close. Once you're ready to close it, you remove that little lock, that lock bar, and it closes very normally. It's a cool little knife. It has the deep carry, oh no, it doesn't have the deep carry pocket clip, excuse me. It has the anodized purple clip and the back spacer, as well as the pivot collar on both sides. And it's got kind of like a bluish gray tone to it. It's different, and I kind of like that because of the fact that it works well for the knife. That kind of turquoise-ish, not even turquoise, but it's purple. With this grayish blue, it actually makes it, you know, pop a little bit more blue than the gray. You have a little bit of bouginess with the Damascus steel that they have there. And I gotta tell you, it feels nice in the hand. And one thing I did want to go ahead and mention about this, and Dylan actually confirmed this, is when you put the large ARCHAEO and the small ARCHAEO next to this one actually fits right in the middle. So it's like the Goldilocks of the three. So the other one is, you know, too small, and the other one is too big. This one is actually right in the middle dimension-wise. So something to consider. This is the Artisan Cutlery non-locking ARCHAEO, Dylan Mallory design. Really cool. Be on the lookout for the review on that one pretty soon. Speaking of reviews, I have recently completed a review on this guy. This is the Mote, or the Mote. This is an O-Stop-Held design, S35VN steel, titanium hardware, titanium hardware and handle. These have all been anodized, and these have been bronzed, anodized, and stonewashed, as you can see. Nice little pivot collar and pivot screw, T8 screws all around, which I love. It's not tapped for left-handed carry. And this is a bead blasted and stonewashed S35 VN blade. You can see the O-Stop-Held design insignia right there. Really nice jimping in the back, feels good in the hand. And then what they did was they polished the back right here, this back spacer. How badass is that? Everything else on here is nice and dulled out, kind of stonewashed, which really brings out the look of the knife. And then you have, boom, you have that. This actually reminds me of like pieces of Iron Man's armor for whatever reason. And then this has been cut out in the back for the standout for you to use a lanyard if you choose to go ahead and remove this and just keep this in the pocket, because believe it or not, this is a really small knife. I mean, so you can see what it is in my hand. It fits very securely in the palm of my hand. So nice flipper design by O-Stop-Held, who's really one of those guys that, you know, you see typically. He actually produces the front flipper designs that you would see on my channel. I've reviewed the Metamorph, I reviewed the Tulip, and the Ivy. But this one, this is actually a really cool design that he's come out with. Nice little flipper, nice action on it, runs on bearings. This is the Mote. This is a really cool design from O-Stop-Held. Really glad to check that out. Now, back to America. This is the 565-1 Benchmade Knives Mini FREEK. Okay, now you may notice that this does not look like the original FREEK, and I noticed that first off the bat. This has been provided by Tier 1 Gear Reviews, and I gotta tell you, when he was interested in sending this over to me, we talked a little bit because I had sent him a knife from Kansept, and he's like, hey man, you want to go ahead and check this out? I was like, you know, I wasn't really a fan of the original, the Mini Freak when it came out. Okay, the 565. I got actually a first production, which this is actually a first production as well, which I thought was kind of ironic. I got it, and then when it came, it had those kind of like rubberized kind of handles, the plasticky rubberized handles, and the action wasn't very good. And I was like, man, this shit sucks. And I sent it back to the company that I purchased it from, because yes, I do purchase knives. And I didn't think twice about it ever again. And then he's been, you know, rocking this, and I'm like, God damn, that shit looks badass. I wonder what the hell that is. And he told me, yo, that's the Mini Freak. It's an upgraded version. You know, they upgraded the steel on it. They did a couple of things, and I gotta tell you, the action on this is really badass. So you have contoured carbon fiber scales on both sides, and it's a slab of carbon fiber. This isn't laminate. This is actually a slab of carbon fiber. Okay, the axis lock as usual. You have a very lightly stone washed blade. It's got that nice flat grind, the beautiful belly, and the anodized thumb studs on here on both sides are in red, as well as the standoffs. And yeah, honestly, it did come with a black clip, but I told him, yo, this thing needs a deep carry clip. So I went ahead and I replaced that with the shiny steel clip that they provide. And the action on this, I gotta tell you, look. I mean, really, really awesome. S90V steel, it's a manual opening folder, but I gotta tell you, this is the nicest version of the Mini Freak that I have actually ever had the pleasure of holding in my hands. And this has redeemed the Freak as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'm a little bit off-put by the price. I mean, this is closing in on what, like 200 something? And yeah, I'm not really feeling that, but and then again, for the price, I mean, now that I see how this has been, you know, put together, the quality control on this one is really good. The blade grind is actually pretty symmetrical. Just the actual action is smooth, buttery smooth. It looks great. These contoured carbon fiber scales really feel good in the hand. It slips in and out of the pocket with ease. And this is a far cry from the original Mini Freak that was released. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 565-1 Mini Freak in CPM S90V, USA made by Benchmade. They do offer their Life Sharp warranty, and keep that in mind if you ever end up getting one of these knives. But I gotta tell you, as long as you keep a nice set of stones, or, you know, say something, you know, simple like a Spyderco triangle sharp maker, you know, I keep one of those around me all the time. And honestly, I use a KME as well to touch up this edge. S90V is not an entirely, you know, difficult steel to work with. Now, if we're talking S110V, that's a different story and a different horse altogether to ride on. Now, I really don't have a problem with this. In fact, I'm probably gonna ask him how much he's gonna go ahead and sell this for me for, because if he doesn't want it, I'm definitely a buyer for it. So again, that's the 565-1, the Benchmade Knives Mini Freak and S90V. On the other side of the handle and material and, well, nation scale, this is the Chinese-made Kansept knives Kryo. Now, I did a review on the Mini Kryo not too long ago. It was titanium anodized handles, S35VN satin blade, and really cool knife to feel in the hand. I've been in contact with Kansept knives ever since I had spoken to them before SHOT Show. I did some reviews of the knives that they had on their table at SHOT Show, and then I got to see some of their prototypes, you know, firsthand. I got to go ahead and take them apart. You know, they gave me one to go ahead and use for a little while to go ahead and give some feedback on, and I had kind of like radio silence after I had done all of my reviews and stuff for them. It was a little while where I never heard from them. And then randomly, you know, this and one other knife shows up in my mail. It's just, I didn't put the other knife here because I wanted that to be its own video. It's that cool. But this one was, it's interesting because I talked to them about the micarta, and that, you know, particularly the burlap micarta, which is what this is based on. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, not the burlap, but the canvas micarta that this is based on. And I gotta tell you, I freaking love this. This is the full-sized Kansept Kryo. This is a Kim Nim design. He actually came out with this particular knife right here. And if you notice, there's a lot of design cues on the two. This is the Kaiser Kesmek. This is the Vanguard version from Kaiser in VG10. This is a D2 stonewash variant of the full-size Kryo from Kansept knives. Now, this is not tapped for left-hand carry, but it does have the standard clip for right-hand carry. The only gripe I can tell you on this one, because the action on this runs on bearings, it flips really nicely. It fits awesome in hand. It fits better as the full-size than the mini actually did, and I like the mini quite a bit. I'm not a big fan of the clip, especially down here. It does kind of tend to poke you a bit, but it's nice and springy. It feels good in the pocket. I've carried this quite a bit, and I gotta tell you, I am a fan of this knife. You guys gotta check out this variant. It's part of their budget lineup. I mean, they have a lot of knives in the 150, 200, 250, even up to 300 range, if I'm not mistaken by now. And then I'm like, guys, what are you guys doing? You know, and what their business model basically is telling them, hey, you know, we want to win you over with presentation and with performance. And once you see our higher end stuff that you know that, okay, this is good quality stuff, then you're going to know that when we come out with a D2 variant, a budget variant for some of these other knives, I mean, they've told me they're going to have 154 cm, you know, an N690, 20 CV, a bunch of different steels on both the budget and the high-end spectrum. But when they get into the budget part of the game, they're doing it because they mean business, okay? Now, I will tell you, I am pretty sure that this is the standard production model that these are out right now. These are probably going for under $50, so they're aiming square at knives like this, you know, the Safivi line or the Ontario Rat 2, or excuse me, Rat 1 and Rat 2 D2s. If I had one gripe on this, and I would tell them, hey, you know, do this, and I think that would be something that'll make it a little bit better, is I would have skeletonized this liner that's on the show side. You have a full slab of micarta, and by doing that, you would have saved a little bit of weight, and probably have done like a deep carry clip on this one because this is a bigger version. But other than that, maybe just stonewash it so that it matches the blade itself. But the hardware is nice and smooth. I don't have a problem with it. Let me go ahead and see if this is T6 and T8, because I'm actually intrigued by this here. Hold up. Okay, so this here is T8. No, that is not. And this is T8. Okay, so everything except for, okay, so everything, let me see, the standoffs, the pivot screw, everything except for the pocket clip is T8, and then the pocket clip screws are T6. Okay, well, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of T6, you know, screws. They tend to strip really easily, and you know, when you have something like steel, some steel from some of these companies can be a bit small. It can be a bit soft, so that's kind of an Achilles heel on me. But other than that, guys, this is a really, really badass knife. Go ahead and check it out when you can. I believe they're live on Blade HQ already. This is the Kansept Kryo in D2 stonewash blade with micarta scales. Really awesome design. Fits great in the hand. Flips out really well. It's on bearings, guys. I mean, yeah, yeah. That's all I can say. Okay, now last but not least, I wanted to give this one its proper due because I saw this firsthand when I went to SHOT Show 2020. I, you know, got to meet up with Russell and Dylan Mallory, and I saw this knife, and I'm like, okay, what the hell is this shit in the back? That's basically what I said. And Russell was like, hey man, that's our new prototype lock. They hadn't even released this yet, but they had shown some variants of it, not only in the Artisan line, but the CJRB line. And this here is the Krag. Now, the Krag really reminds me of like CJRB taking a design very similar to that of the Kaiser sheepdog, and I'll go ahead and put a picture of it up there, and kind of made their own version of it. It's a little bit flatter of a sheep's foot design. It has this nice sharp downward reverse tonto look. It has this swedge out here. I like it a lot. They did the finger choil large enough to be able to go ahead and use it with your index finger up here, or just use it as a standard sharpening choil. Has the I do know that they have G10 and carbon fiber laminate options. This is the carbon fiber laminate option. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to create a new innovative lock that was exclusive through them, and that they could use for one-handed manipulation. So like you saw before, this is opening it, this is closing it, opening it, closing it. Really, really badass. It is tapped for left and right hand carry, and yes, it does have a deep carry clip. The deep carry clip does not sit flush with the scale. That is one little gripe that I do have, and the clip isn't stonewashed like the blade. That's a gripe that I've always had with some of these companies when they come out with variants that are like stonewash and blackwash. If that's the case, make it so that the clip, you know, matches it. I mean, with some of the hardware is small enough to where you're not going to be able to go ahead and see the difference between that and the blade itself. But these little things, you know, that I've seen, like for example, on the Mote, where they go ahead and they take all of the hardware, even the back spacer, you know, I mean, just everything about this, and they've gone ahead and they've anodized it. Yeah, I understand this is a $169, you know, knife company. Knife, but in any case, to be able to go ahead and take some of their pocket clips in bulk and just kind of run them through a you know, a stone wash to kind of keep that on hand, to kind of keep that as a variant clip, I think that that'd be a really good idea. But this this particular knife lock, I gotta say, I'm digging it. It does feel a little bit weird. There is some play here, but it's meant to do that. It doesn't close. I mean, I've kind of noticed, I've flicked around with it here, and even if I try to close it here and it does close, as you can see, the flipper is in the way, so there's no way that this knife is going to close down on me. And for it to have to close on me, I have to be batoning it, you know, the other way, you know, for it to have to close, and I'm not going to be doing anything like that. So really cool lock, very, very different. This is the kind that I would typically look for a liner lock, and I actually looked for something like that when I first got it. When I opened it and closed it, I wasn't really used to this particular lock, and I kept finding myself trying to reach for that liner lock that wasn't there. But you know, once I started to use this for a little while, a nice little flick of the wrist once it's open, and it will close with no problem. Now this is the CJRB Krag. Really, really cool. D2 steel, stone washed, and this is a carbon fiber laminate variant with a nice phosphor bronze pivot collar, and you know, open pillar construction. It's got these two standoffs with the satin deep carry pocket clip, like I said, which is tapped for left and right handed carry. So let me go ahead and put the carbon fiber variants up here. So just remember, if it's the Krag or even the Mini Freak, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the today's knife party. It's been a while since I've done this, and I gotta tell you, just stay tuned while I go ahead and work with these a little bit longer. I had quite a few things, you know, coming in the pipeline, and just to kind of keep things fresh on the channel, I wanted to show these to you just so that you knew what I was working with, and that I have a lot of really cool stuff on the pipeline. Aside from this, I do have some flashlights, and I do have some other gear that I want to go ahead and show off. So just remember, guys, whether it's it's a brand new lock, a brand new variant, or even a brand new auto, remember, if you EDC, think of DCS. Thanks so much for tuning into today's knife party. It's been a while. Thank you so much. I will see you guys next time, hopefully with a review on these and some of the others that have been in this video. So take it easy, guys. Peace.